In a wire cage that had been used as a storage room, faculty came together for an experiment. What would happen if they stepped beyond conventional notions of what a college class looks like? What if they created a space that encouraged cross-discipline collisions? What if they included community leaders and tackled a pressing issue in society? The experiment turned into the Gymnasium, a hands-on test lab with spaces to prototype new teaching and learning models for servant leadership and social innovation.
I think of it as like a creative space or like a melting pot where different students and members of the community are coming together.
I've never experienced this amount of collaboration and free thinking, and that's something that I would highly recommend to any class.
What I discovered is students were working together that normally wouldn't, so it forced them to be uncomfortable.
That includes uncomfortable for me. And I asked students to ride along with me. They liked coming to this space. I think it challenged them, it challenged their perspectives.
All semester we've been using different aspects of the space. And so we'll be in here and collaborating with different classes. And it's just our collective area to kind of attack this question.
The question they were attacking in this pilot year was how to disrupt the pattern of opioid addiction.
Our goal was to understand a current problem and potentially what can be done about it. Right now in Dayton, Ohio, it's the opioid crisis, but next year it could be something different, but we're gonna look at it from the tools and the skill basis to say, what are the things that we need to do, what are strategies that we can take in order to try to understand really big, complicated, messy problems that impact people.
Faculty approached issues from transdisciplinary perspectives, and community leaders brought expertise from a variety of fields.
I think it was great to give the students an opportunity to connect with the community, not only to ask them questions, but to engage in their work and to just fully understand what is really out there.
And I think it aligns a lot with the Marinus values within the university and saying, we don't understand the spaces that you're in, but we want to be a part of it.
My students are all future healthcare professionals. And most of them come to healthcare thinking that it's like a set of check boxes, and that's not what this space is about. This is about breaking open those boxes and unchecking the boxes and getting them to start thinking much more creatively. Because what we need in healthcare in the 21st century is people who can solve healthcare problems, but not in traditional ways.
The world needs creativity and innovation now more than ever. The problems are bigger, and a silo approach to thinking and doing and being isn't sufficient.
Today is the Summit Slam, so this is the final culmination of all of our research this semester, and we're speaking with fellow students and community members about all of our findings from this semester.
And suddenly we're here contributing to the community, so it's different because this is real. This is something that's feasible and tangible and something that will continue on. It's bigger than a grade.
And I think that this is really a good example of how we're trying to, kind of bust down some of those barriers of what is curricular and what does a classroom look like, and to do it in a very real and tangible way that, quite honestly, also isn't super flashy.
We have a long game here, but the prototype and the opportunity to mess up, to take on spaces and break them, nothing's precious. And when there's nothing's precious, it's really the ability to say, I have no idea. Let's try it out. Let's break it. Let's build it back up. Let's break it again.
We had to be risk takers as well. There was a lot of messy components to it, and that's good teaching. And so I'm really grateful that I had that experience.
I'm glad I jumped in and participated, even with the obstacles and challenges. It still helped me be a better teacher.
And this is like a Kings Island roller coaster. Get ready. You have to be okay with the bumps, but at the same time, there's a thrill in it.
My students loved it. They loved it. They loved coming here. They felt like it was a big connection for them with what they were learning.
I am excited to move on into my future career and talk about what I've learned here and talk about what I've done here, and I think that it's very beneficial.
I think this is the most beneficial class I've ever taken in the most beneficial space to promote learning and promote discussion and communication.
This is a story without an end. The Gymnasium concept is an evolving experiment. a space to explore teaching and learning that crosses boundaries and develops competencies and innovation, applied creativity, and entrepreneurial thinking.
I feel really lucky to be a part of an institution that supports the experiment and innovation. Just like we weren't trying to come up with an answer to the opioid problem, the gymnasium is not an answer to how we should educate all students every day for all classes. I think it's another tool in our toolbox of trying to provide a distinctive, meaningful, purpose-based, impactful education for our students. It is really just an opportunity to open yourself up to a different approach that can, I think, have a big impact.